NFC North looked to be wide open too, with the Packers kind of slipping. Everybody thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to put a play together and they was going to be back like cook crack. Let's talk about it. Check out the Detroit Lions top playlist, NFC North playlist, and it's wide open right now. Even though Minnesota 5-1, I didn't notice that until right before I did this video. It don't seem like it. They beat Green Bay week 1. They beat Green Bay, New Orleans, Detroit, Chicago, the Dolphins, and they lost to the Eagles. So, didn't seem like it. I mean, they ain't been really beating the creme de la creme teams. But right now, they beat every team in the division once. So, that's where they 3 wins come from. Their 2 other wins, I think they got a gift versus the Saints. I watched that game over there in England. And the Dolphins, they got a gift because Tua Tagovailoa and Bridgewater was out. I think Bridgewater came back for the second half, but he wasn't even slated to play. So, like I said before, and then they got the Colts, the same Jets, Giants, Bills. They got a few teams coming up, but right now they 5-1, but they got a huge lead on the race. But we know Kirk Cousins is fluky, very very fluky, and this was a year in which if the Lions obviously would have favored more durable players and not guys that's injured, and they would have came in with a full deck. They would have been healthy for the Minnesota game. They would have won that game. And no telling where that momentum carries this team for the rest of the season. Now, I hate to pay ifs and all that type of stuff, but I'm just speaking facts. So ain't no telling where that momentum would have carried them. And this was a prime, opportunity to put themselves right in the race for the NFC North. Now, we all know I picked the Vikings in my NFC North prediction. And for this reason why, they just too talented. They just too talented not to win this division and let a receiverless Rodgers team win. And if Rodgers would have ran away with this division, I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't no hope. It just would have been no hope for the rest of the other teams. So, Minnesota, even though they got a new GM, a new head coach, they was already built to be pretty good. I mean, you got one of the best receivers in Justin Jefferson, and your number 2 receiver is Adam Thielen. Come on, you pick, second round pick Irv Smith, one of the best backs, Dalvin Cook, one of the best backup running backs, and Madison. I mean, come on, they've been building the offensive line way better. You know what I'm saying? They should have had a better performance versus Philly, but I don't feel like, even though they got a big lead in the division and record-wise, I just don't feel like it's safe. What's that song for G-Eazy? It ain't safe. It just don't feel like they lead is like, it's Kirk Cousins. He fluky, even injury or a pick, and it's still early in the season. Now, looking at it, through 6 games for the Lions, could they turn it around? Absolutely. But they won't. They're not healthy enough to turn it around. They're not. They simply not healthy enough. And they don't have enough experience, but they could have put themselves right in position. This year to be contenders in this division. And looking at the promise in the first 4, games, it was the defense. It ain't helping that, they going 3-0 and Jared Goff getting pigs and they going for, nobody looked at it how they was playing. You notice when they played Dallas, the Lions, when he started punting and they paid the punter, when he started punting and playing field position, the defense played a lot better. It wasn't no coincidence. There's a reason why you play the field position game. There's a reason why you play field position. I'll say it again. There's a reason why you play field position. You put your defense in better positions, they play better. So a lot of the defensive woes, it was injuries, it was scheme, but a lot of it was they was put in some bad positions. Throwing picks, being put in short field situations, put in on the bad side of the field. They never got an opportunity to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. They never got that opportunity. You know? So, I mean, but it was there to be had. It was there to be more competitive in. They last in the division. Chicago got 2 wins. You know, Green Bay got a few wins. Minnesota won every game but Philly, 5-1. So we was in that position to be more competitive than what we are in. But that's the thing about the Lions. If he didn't get hurt, if this didn't happen, we'd have drafted that guy. That guy would have been better. Or it's always an if. They was very competitive and, very competitive. And it ended up with 6 games. When you had, a 2-score lead versus Philadelphia, when you had a 2-score lead versus Minnesota, you didn't do nothing in New England. When you had, you was up 2 field goals versus, you was up a field goal versus Dallas. They need the right person that's gonna come here and just not wilter in those situations. It's always that SOL situation. Oh, here we go again, like Keenan and Kel. Oh, here you go, And this was a division in which the Lions could have turned it around, but could have been false expectations. It could have been. I mean, it could have been, next year, going into next year, they win the division barely, and then next year people got a lot of expectations and they're not that good. So, if it happened, it's gonna happen on their time. So they won the division, been healthy this year. They would have paid Jared Goff. Jared Goff would have got a shit ton of money. He would have been the future. It'd have been a Blake Bortles situation. Same thing with Daniel Jones. The Cowboys lost 1 game, and they talking about, well, let's play. They talking about on Key and Max and whatever, Jay, talking about paying him his money. They're not winning because of fucking Daniel Jones. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. If the Brian Daboll, he ain't that ignorant. They better go get them a quarterback in New York. Danny Dimes is not that guy. I hate to break it to them. Danny Dimes is not that guy. You're going to make the same mistake Jacksonville made. It's so easy for these dudes to stick to these quarterbacks, bro. They are not winning because of Danny Dimes. They are winning, especially not because of his arm. They winning because of Saquon Barkley and that defense. And that defense was already good before he got there. Joe Judge at least did do that right. And I'm thank God the Lions ain't in that situation. I'd rather them be in this situation, honestly, and know the truth about their team. Because watch New York. They stick with Danny Dimes. He going to revert back to exactly what he was as soon as he get his money. We seen it with Blake Bortles. So now they're in a position where they know they got to start preparing for the future at the quarterback position. So we'll see. But it was a division in which, I knew Green Bay was going to fall off. That was easy. You don't replace a Devontae Adams with Christian Watson, a guy come from a football program who didn't throw the ball a lot. And then Romeo Doubs, I liked him a lot. But it was a lot to ask for him and Alex, whatever his name is. Lazar is actually trash. And ask him and Randall Cobb to carry the load and depend on Sammy Watkins, who ain't never healthy before he stepped in this league. It was just not a good decision. They put all the resources in the defense, and the defense ain't that good. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the NFC North playlist, Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree, first link in the description. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.